Dredge is a game that I almost passed on. And thanks to my buddy Nightmare, we're all here today to talk about it. So thanks for the game, buddy. This one's for you. Dredge is a fishing game that at its core focuses on upgrades and storage limitations to push the gameplay forward. Yes, Dredge does have a very minimal story, kind of explaining why things get a little weird at night, but to me, the meat and potatoes all come from the gameplay loop. So upon crashing into, an island, you have to pay off a debt for a new boat, and there you go. You're on your way to start fishing. Dredge has multiple ways that you can actively fish stuff up from the sea, but the main fishing minigame is an active fishing system. You captain your boat to different fishing locations, and with those fishing locations have different minigames. Example would be a squid having kind of a bounce back system, and a normal circle where you just kind of click to accelerate you reeling in fish. It does kind of mix up the gameplay, but essentially it all boils down to the same thing. Click button during green or gold. Over time, you start upgrading your ship with new fishing rods and equipment, all of which allow you to improve the type of fish or even materials that you can bring up from the water. And if I haven't made it very clear, fishing is your main source of money in the game, which you're going to use to repair your boat or to upgrade your ship. One of the first upgrades you're going to get, it's for a piece of equipment that allows you to dredge from the ocean. Now, that's a similar mechanic in regards to fishing, but instead of clicking A during, green or gold, this time you're clicking, a button to kind of avoid dead spots on the track. So you bounce back and forth between two spots, and at the end, it's going to give you materials that you can use to upgrade your ship or treasures that you can sell to get money to, upgrade your ship or purchase items from the store. I talked earlier how the fishing is kind of more an active minigame. Well, there's also kind of a passive system if you want to put money into it. Those involve crab traps and net fishing. Crab traps you just kind of drop off in the water. Yeah, you can find out what depth everything goes to, but until you're at the end game trying to catch everything, it doesn't matter. Just put it where plenty of crabs spawn. You'll be able to profit at least a few bucks every day. And your nets are almost kind of in the same vein. You kind of set and forget it. It needs to be repaired so often, so do the crab pots. And realistically, every time you go to town, at least I just kind of repaired it each day, so I never had to worry about it breaking and losing my catch. But again, it kind of catches fish while you're kind of captaining your boat place to place anyway. So if you're going to explore, it just makes sense to have it down so that you're making money while you're exploring. That way your progress doesn't get hindered by you, quote unquote, over exploring or anything like that. Now I know what you're asking yourself. I catch a fish, what do I do with it? That's where the inventory management system comes into play. Think almost like a Resident Evil 4 inventory management where each item's going to take a certain configuration. An L, a squiggle, a square. You have to make the choice if you can fit it all in your ship or throwing away whatever you just fished out of the ocean. Over time, one of the main upgrades you're going to get is to the size of your boat, which is going to offer you options to expand and increase what equipment you can put in the boat, increase how many fish you can put in your boat. Obviously, more space means that you have more opportunity to cram fish in there, which is more profit, which means higher upgrades, etc., etc. Early gameplay really does let you know kind of what to expect in the later part of the game. The night and day cycle is kind of all about risk versus reward. Sure, you can go out and stay and fish all night, but getting on your way back home, you may run into a few rocks and damage your hull. Or you may see some spooky stuff out in the night depending on how long you've been out. I feel that all that information is best left for you to explore. No, I don't think it adds a ton to the actual fishing mechanics of the game, but it does add a charm that I feel personally it leaves it up to personal experience. Hearing about it's going to kind of ruin the game, and I would want you to experience fresh. What I will tell you, no spoilers, is that you do get abilities that help with the gameplay in certain functions. So if you feel that maybe you're moving around a little too slow, maybe I'll just say that you have some options later game that kind of help out with that. So push through the beginning, get to the point, and you'll start seeing what I mean when you get there. To wrap everything up, Dredge mixes fishing, boating, and inventory management into a wonderful game that I can see myself replaying in the future. No, it's not really the most relaxing fishing game out there. Obviously, it leans heavily into the spooky stuff that, like I said before, I really don't want to get into with this video. But what I will say is it definitely can scratch that I need to fish urge that you might get from time to time. The only way I can kind of describe that is, you know, when you want to boot up like Ocarina of Time or like Twilight Princess to go fishing in the pond and just relax for a little bit? That essentially. It also really helps that the game is Steam Deck verified so that you can take it on the go and just kind of fish at leisure, which no game is going to be worse for being on the Steam Deck, let's be honest here. Giving my final stamp of approval or disapproval, I would say that Dredge is worth completing. Getting all the fish, exploring all the areas, 100% complete it. If you know me, that mark doesn't come easily, and I can offer it for a few reasons. Number one, it only took me about 12 hours to 100% complete the game in an otherwise very short game if you're just doing it for story. And that's not really to say that, oh, if a game's short, you should 100% complete it, but if you really want this game to fish, what's the harm in catching all the fish? You know what I mean? Just fill it out and you're good to go. You can say you could beat a game. At the time of recording everything, the game's only $25. I don't think that price is going to go up in the future. So for $25, complete the game, have it in your Steam library forever, and enjoy it. That said, I'm going to wrap everything up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you. If you're still here at the end of the video, subscribe for me. Getting everything started now, I'd really appreciate it. Past that, hope you have a wonderful life, day, weekend, whatever it is. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.